Welcome to Experience League Live. I'm Sandra Hausmann. I'm a senior technical marketing engineer on the digital experience product enablement team at Adobe, and I will be your host today. As always, you can communicate with us in the chat on the right. Ask your questions and we will try to answer them. And of course, feel free to comment anytime. In today's show, we will dive into the capabilities and use cases of the new code-based experience channel, our 7th channel in Journey Optimizer. But before I introduce my guests, for those of you unfamiliar with Experience League, it is the one-stop shop for everything self-help. You'll find documentation, how-to video tutorials, courses for Journey Optimizer, and of course, the other Experience Cloud products on Experience League. And if you would like to continue the conversation with your peers and experts from Adobe after the show, visit the community forums. We'll post a specific thread for this session later on where you can directly jump in. Simply go to experienceleague.com experienceleague.adobe.com and to enjoy all the offerings that we have. And now, without further ado, let me welcome my guests. My first guest today is Robert Calangiu. He is joining us from lovely Italy. Hi, Robert. Great
Hey,
to have
Sandra.
you back.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
get
great to be back and present yet another channel on Adobe Journey Optimizer.
We're looking forward to seeing it and talking about it first. But let's get in Brent. Brent Kostak joining us.
Thanks,
Hi,
Sandra.
Brent. Welcome. You're also basically a veteran of the shows. It's the first time you're on my show, though, so I'm really happy to have you. And as usual, for those in the audience who don't know you yet, let's talk a bit about you. Let's get to know you guys. Let me start with Robert. Robert, you are a classic car enthusiast. What type of cars do
Yeah,
you like? What type of cars are you
yeah.
into?
So unfortunately, I don't have yet any classic cars, but my brother has two. He has like one Audi from 71 and one Mercedes from 87.
Wow.
So I really like doing mechanics and maintaining them. So I'm helping during summer holidays from time to time, and I get to take them from for a ride. And hopefully, when I get closer to retirement or pension, I'll get one on my of my own. So yeah.
Nice, nice. That's great. How did you get into them? Was it because your brother bought them, or is that something that
Yeah,
you've had?
yeah, it was some sort of common passion. He bought the first one, and then I've tried to help him restore it and then maintain them. It's like a child. You need to constantly maintain them, otherwise they broke. So yeah.
Wow, that's not bad. I mean, so we now know what your plans are for retirement and your hobby when you're not
Yeah.
working. But let's talk a bit about work. So you're principal product manager at Adobe in the Journey Optimizer team. Tell us a bit about what you do and what you're focused on.
Yeah, so now I'm in the Journey Optimizer channels team. I work mainly on the web channel, this code-based channel, helping on bringing in other new channels and driving the channel's roadmap further on. So you can expect uh, a lot of new improvements on the way we build and develop our channels in the future, and also trying to simplify the workflows and make them easier for our customers.
And you'll be showing us the product today. I'm
Yeah,
really looking
yeah.
forward to that. Okay, thank you, Robert. Brent, welcome. It's the first time you're on my show here, but I know you've had other shows around Target, and you're now senior product marketing manager for Journey Optimizer.
That's
Um,
correct.
but let's start a bit about your hobby. You kayaked in Milford Sound fjords in New Zealand. What's special about the fjords and what's special about kayaking there?
It's funny you said hobby. I wish it could be a continuous hobby. That was a trip that I took, and Milford Sound is the very southern tip of New Zealand. The fjord mountains are really unique there. They have all these waterfalls. The water is really clear. But this one tour guide that we did a kayak trip, and they but maybe about 20 kayaks. They all got us together. We all grabbed hands and was in the middle of one of these fjord mountain ranges, and he started talking about folklore tales and how these mountains were carved out by some of the New Zealand gods, and they released sand flies, which are large flies that kind of keep tourists away. It was really unique experience, and that stuck with me in terms of just the history when you travel, getting to understand different cultures, and then of course doing anything activity or adventurous wise. That was a trip for the book. So a fun fact there is just learning about New Zealand. It's a great opportunity if you ever go to Sydney or Australia. If you can jet down to New Zealand, it's amazing. So
Yeah. I think that just made it onto my travel bucket list.
there you go. Yeah, and I'm excited to be back. These Experience League live sessions are so fun. So thank you for the invite to come back.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Brent, tell our audience a bit about what you do in product marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Product marketing. I think it's a great opportunity to share stories, really connect with our customers. Adobe Journey Optimizer has been in market for about 3 years. I think this June. We've seen a lot of growth, and there's a lot of exciting new products that I'm working with Robert on. My expertise in really kind of main focus areas within Journey Optimizer will be decisioning and experimentation. I have a background there with a lot of our optimization teams working with other AEC products like Adobe Target. And there's a lot of, I think, momentum right now in market for code-based experience channel and some of the ways that we're seeing customers come together cross functionally. And this session will touch base on a few of these trends that we're seeing for experimentation and personalization and Journey Optimizer. So excited to be here talking about code-based experience channel.
Great. So, how about we jump right into it? So, Brent, you already started us off. So, tell us a bit about this channel. I mean, what are the key capabilities? Why did we build it? What is it for? Or who is it
Yeah,
for?
it's exactly. There's I'll touch base on a slide or two here in a minute, just to kind of set some context for the demo and some of seeing the product itself. Um, Really, kind of where we're at, I think, with our Journey Optimizer customer base and seeing some of these trends in market. We just got out of Adobe Summit. We're talking to a lot of teams, specifically within experimentation and personalization. You're now expanding your aperture for uh, journeys, campaigns with Journey Optimizer, and the extension that you have with these technical teams like a developer, a product manager, or an engineering team that is now embedded throughout this overall customer journey and powering some customer experiences with marketing teams and operation teams. You need those tools and functionalities on one application, right? So it's really exciting. It's a paradigm shift for thinking about how Journey Optimizer customers are empowering inbound services, connecting a lot more channels. And again, going back to these trends, there's a lot of capabilities that we're seeing with an engineer or product manager that you're thinking about expanding out past marketing personas, but also use cases, right? Growth marketing is a huge topic in market. We're seeing a lot of opportunities for customers to want to extend their personalization or experimentation on all kinds of devices and touch points. So this new channel gives these teams the flexibility to do that and the
Mm,
scalability to continually build Journey Optimizer campaigns and journeys with cross-functional teams. So I want to, if it's okay right now, to just share a few slides before we get into the demo. So let me key this up here.
Okay, we should be seeing the slides. Perfect.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned when we think about channels and content, we have core pillars within Journey Optimizer when we think about new features and products, right? Code-based experience channel, really extending this aperture, as we mentioned, into these inbound services. So essentially, thinking about code-based experience channel as programmatic inbound experiences. You'll hear this term used, and that really means that you're taking advantage of an API endpoint with this channel, right? So think about any inbound surface that can query an API, getting a response back from Adobe within a payload, HTML or JSON, and then taking advantage of that and embedding that in your experience. It could be a static payload, thinking about like feature flags for changing for an example of search results screen. If you're just maybe a product or engineering team wants to do some experimentation, you're testing and rolling out a new product in your mobile app, and you just want to validate right that experience or product is working. It can also do personalized dynamic content and experiences. So when you're thinking about really getting into the personalized opportunities on voice activated assistants like Alexa or a call center endpoint, anything in terms of an inbound service that can query this channel, this API endpoint. The opportunities are endless, and it extends into a lot more devices and touch points, as you can see here for the expanded reach. So once again, these teams that are wanting to expand past web and mobile, they want to get a little bit more robust in terms of how they're uh, querying different experiences to these endpoints and really consistent customer journeys and customer touch points across their campaigns, right? So the two other main drivers here, me and Robert are really passionate about some of these capabilities when you think about controlled personalization and granular control in these native app experiences. So those who are familiar with Journey Optimizer, all the personalization capabilities you can have when you're building different campaigns and touch points. Within the code-based experience channel, you have all of those capabilities in the personalization editor. Robert will show this throughout his demo. But that's an awesome, a really great opportunity to think about how you are using profiles, attributes, audiences, those expression fragments within the editor to drive granular control of some of those experiences in content or messages, versus just an overlay or a modal within like in-browser messaging or in-app messaging. So code-based experience channel delivering controlled increase of personalization control on those native app experiences. And then, of course, a lot of our customers, we heard of this from Summit. When you think about web and mobile capabilities outside of a client-side implementation, the flexibility and scalability that you have with code-based experience channel is giving more robust implementations in any development environment. So you think about server-side, client-side, SDK or API-based implementation methods. Code-based experience channel delivers these implementation methods, so you can now extend your flexibility and scalability, as we mentioned, across these new touch points and endpoints for campaigns. So it's really exciting. These are the core value drivers that we're seeing in values for code-based experience channel.
And basically, I mean, you can use it for any of the channels where we have our classic channels like web and mobile. But if I understand this correctly, with the classic channels, AJO is pretty prescriptive with what you can do. But on the coast-based experience side, basically the customer can drive and can say, okay, this is what I need and implement it. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Put it?
yeah, that's correct, Sandra, and I can add a few details here. So, as most of us know, like we have the web channel, which is allowing for a client-side SDK-based implementation, and it allows you to author the full page. So in a visual, using a visual editor, we have the in-app channel with its flavors, mobile and web. In-app channel also supports only an SDK-based client-side implementation, and allow for use cases where you need a pop-up, a modal, or an overlay on top of the current web page or mobile app. Um, but until now, we didn't have like a channel that powers server-side implementations, and that is able to run across any type of device, and also uh, more important, I guess, especially for desktop apps or for mobile apps, to be able to modify the native app content. So inside the app, not only overlays and pop-ups. So you can see code-based experience channel as a generic inbound channel, or like a foundational channel that you can use across all your platforms uh, in a more structured way, and gives you a lot of flexibility and power in the same time.
Brent, I mean, you just mentioned your conversations at Summit, and when we were talking, you were talking about what you were hearing from customers is, that this gives the ability to break down the silos between the different teams as well. Can you elaborate a bit on what our customers are saying there?
Yeah, it's a great point. And one last slide here, thinking about some of this expanded value to our customers around Code-Based Experience Channel. Um, I, I was just recently attending a conference with the focus was mobile applications, and how the evolution of experimentation personalization is driving KPIs alignment in terms of these cross-functional teams outside of just marketing, right? We are very, I think, at Adobe ingrained with the lifecycle marketer, growth marketer, and our marketing personas of how they're building and extending some of these um, customer experiences, through an omni-channel engagement platform. But what about, you think about use cases and our customers are asking for in terms of what you get with Code-Based Experience Channel outside of the traditional web or mobile context? You know, One of the advantages of this new channel is, it can be a visual or non-visual endpoint, right? So when you think about customers within our FSI and looking at an ATM, right, or a gas station pump, if you will, for some of these personalized experiences, real time decisioning that's happening uh, within these touch points, it unlocks a lot of these mobile application developers, engineers, product management teams. It extends and expands into more growth use cases. So a lot of the trends in the market, customers are talking about how we're using our solutions and our products to drive growth. Adobe Creative Cloud is a customer, ground zero for using Journey Optimizer and building this into some of the installed desktop applications with Creative Cloud, as well as Lightroom, Photoshop for thinking about user adoption and engagement in the product. So it really extends the aperture here for different teams working together. Robert and I were actually excited in talking about this when we launched this GA in March, around building this foundation now, so marketers can have control of these touch points and these different endpoints, any inbound surface, right, that can call this API from Adobe, but also giving the flexibility now for scalability. We talk about personalization at scale at Adobe a lot, and our customers were so excited because it fits. It's not all about technology, people, processes, how we're seeing the evolution of experimentation and personalization in this market, over these years. Journey Optimizer is delivering that and embedding everything into one application where it's bringing these teams together. So that was really exciting. And a lot of the keynotes at this mobile app conference, they were talking about these mission aligned teams, MAT teams, and how you might have a growth experimentation team, user designer, marketer, lifecycle marketer, product manager, engineer, all on one team that's aligned to either acquisition, monetization, retention goals. And how do you build those into and scale that across teams, right? So I'm really excited for this specific capability, this channel in Journey Optimizer, because it is extending our use cases into these new teams, and it's allowing, as you'll see in the demo for some of these use cases, these teams working together, right? So Sandra, it's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. And even though Summit feels like months ago, just a few weeks back, right? Our customers were really excited for this release.
Let me ask the audience, let us know what teams do you work in, and also which channel do you focus on with your application? And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat pod. We will try to answer them during the session. So go ahead, ask questions. This is your session. We're here for you, and although you can't talk to us directly, you can definitely type, and we'll pick it up. Okay, so I think we've talked a lot. Let's take a look. You've already mentioned one use case that we're implementing at Adobe with Lightroom. You've mentioned the gas station pump, which here in the US you can pump, and some gas stations actually have some screens where you can watch ads or other things, which is not bad while you're waiting for your tank to be filled up. I haven't seen that in Europe yet, or I don't know how it is. We have some people joining from Peru. Welcome, by the way. I don't know how you guys have it. But so those were a couple of use cases. Robert, you're going to show us another use case or another implementation
Yeah,
option. So I'll hand over
yeah.
to you. And yeah.
Thank you. So, what I'm gonna show today as a demo is how we can use code-based channel in order to do like a marketing campaign on a smart TV app. So, for this demo, let's say I'm a marketer for Binge TV, which is a video subscription service. And I would like to run a new promo campaign on my smart TV app called Binge Plus. This is the app, and what I need to tell you is that this TV app has a server-side implementation using AAP Edge Network APIs in order to retrieve the content that is published on the edge by Adobe Journey Optimizer and to populate the content in different locations. So my developer already instrumented the app and declared multiple surfaces as granular location inside the app where I can place or replace content. And for this campaign, I would like to display a special offer for users that are currently on the basic package and try to upgrade them to the premium package. And I want to place this offer in this area under the sign in button and near recommendations for you. So
Robert,
for
quick,
this, yeah,
before
go
you
ahead.
jump in, we have a question from Manuel. Does the code-based channel require the SDK to be deployed in the app?
So there are two methods, or actually three. Like it can be either client side, like if you had an SDK, for example, you want to use AAP Web SDK or AAP Mobile SDK. So this is the client side implementation, or you can use the Edge Network APIs in order to do a server side implementation. So Code Channel supports either client side or server side, or it can be a hybrid implementation, like client side for rendering and server side for fetching and delivering the content. So it's super flexible in terms of implementation methods. For this app in particular, we used like a full server side implementation.
I think that that might already leeway into the second question that we got. Jose is asking when to use Adobe Target versus code-based experience to personalize a specific section within our mobile app.
That's a great question. I suggest to get back to it after I finish the demo,
Okay,
so we can see the experience, and then to we can uh, I and Brent we can answer all the questions if that's
okay,
good.
perfect. Yes, go ahead. And audience, please still send us your
Yeah,
questions.
keep going with the questions. We'll try to address them all by the end of the session. So let's go into Adobe Journey Optimizer, into campaigns, and I will create a new campaign. I will select code-based experience as my channel, and here I will need to enter the surface URI which I want to use. And I already have like a list of surface URIs from my developer, and I'll just copy and paste the one that I need to use. So the surface URI, it's an URI where I have the type of the surface, the path, and the path to the location which I want to use. And in order to see some examples of how you can define different surfaces for different platforms, you can use the contextual help, and we have a link to the public documentation with a couple of examples. Next, I'll hit create, and I will just complete a couple of fields like the name, 1 year anniversary campaign. You can give it some tags in order to find it easily, and then you need to select the audience. Uh, by default, if you don't do anything, the campaign will be visible for all visitors, but I will select my audience, which is formed by the customers that have their 1 year contract anniversary this month. And I will select this audience, which is already created. And then I can go ahead and edit the content for this campaign. But first, I would like to create an experiment. So I would like to test between two different offers. I select unique inbound clicks as the success metric, and I'll just do like a very basic A/B test with a 50-50 split uh, with treatment A and treatment B. Once the experiment is created, I can go ahead and edit the content for each treatment. So I have treatment A selected. I will go ahead and click edit code. And when I clicked edit code, for the ones of you who are familiar with Adobe Journey Optimizer, you can see that this is the personalization editor, which you can find in all the other channels as well. So using this editor, you have access to all the personalization attributes and capabilities of Adobe Journey Optimizer, like profile attributes, audiences, helper function, assets, fragments, and so on. So for the purpose of the demo, I'll just use the HTML mode. You can use either HTML or JSON. Uh, and I'll do greeting first, and I'll do a personalized greeting by the profile first name. I'm closing the div, and then my team already prepared some offers and save them as fragments so I can reuse them in different campaigns if I want to. So uh, here I have two offer fragments, and before adding them to my code, I can go ahead and preview them. So I have an image with 1 year anniversary celebration, a text, and a button for the call to action. So I'm good. I'm just gonna add the fragment in my code offer, and I will save and close. Now I'll go to treatment B, edit code, do the same thing. Like I'm doing this like just for the purpose of the demo because to show you different ways of personalizing or of you or using the editor capabilities, because otherwise I could probably just embed all the content inside a fragment and just insert it in the editor, and that's it. So let's look quickly at fragment B, which has the same like an image, but a different image, a different text, and a different call to action. So I'm gonna add this, and I will go ahead and save and close. And now I have these two treatments, uh, and I can go further and click review to activate. On this screen, you'll see a summary of all the campaign properties before you activate it. So you can double check the audience, the surface ID, and all the other settings that you have declared. Also, you can try to do a simulate to make sure that everything is good. And when you click on simulate, you can do simulation using different test profiles. And what test profile do, like they bring up uh, their attributes, and all the attributes related to that test profile uh, should be resolved in this preview. So you can toggle between different test profiles, and you can preview the experience for that specific test profile.
Robert, I have a question regarding preview. I know this channel works differently to our other channels, but if I think about in-app, for example, I have the preview on device option. Is
Yeah.
there a plan to be able to do that as well? Because obviously, before I set that campaign live, I'd like to preview it. Or is that on the customer side, basically, where the customer needs to deal with being able to preview on their side? How would you deal with it, and what are the plans there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sandra. So what we want to do right now. So currently we have only this inline preview of the code. But what we are working on, and we hope to release very soon, is on-device preview for code-based experience. And how this will work is that, uh, for example, if the surface is like a web surface, then we'll have the ability to generate a QA link uh, using that URL, and the customers will be able to copy that link or open it in a different browser and preview the experience live in browser. If the surface it's like an iOS or an Android app, then we'll have a preview on device similar with what we have right now for in-app channel. So we can open the app and see the content previewed live on the app. So this will come soon. For the other platforms, non-web, non-mobile, uh, it's a bit difficult to have like a live preview. We need somehow the customer implementation to help us here, or the customer can preview that experience in their own apps or environments.
Mhm. I'll let you activate, and then we have a couple of
Yeah,
questions. So while we're
let's,
waiting
uh,
for activation, we
let's
can
activate.
explore.
Um,
Exactly. So we have, I'll get back to the target question, but the first question is, you're showing campaigns. Is it available in Journeys yet? And if not, what are the plans?
Uh, Another great question. It's now available only in campaigns. The plan is to have it in the next part of the year available in journeys as well. There's a larger effort to bring in multiple channels in the journeys. Actually, all the channels in the journeys, so we don't have differences between what's present in campaigns versus journeys, and we are slowly filling this gap.
Okay, then we have another question. So how would, it's also from Manuel, how would this feature work with multilingual capabilities? I mean, are there any plans there?
Yeah. So we have now multilingual in beta, if I remember correctly, and we will bring multilingual again to all the channels, including Codebase.
Perfect. And then there's, I'm not sure if I understand the question correctly from Diego. What is the scope for the modifications we could make for web or mobile in the journeys? Not sure if I understand. Diego, maybe if you could elaborate a bit more what you exactly mean. And in the meantime, let's move
Yeah.
to the target question, target versus
So,
code based. And then we will look at the actual experience.
Yeah, one of the going back to the code based experience in Journey Optimizer versus Target. Two of the things that I want to highlight as well as we're going through this demo, um, going back to seeing this, how customers are using both applications right now. It's very complementary. A lot of the single channel web and mobile experiences that you're running with Adobe Target, a lot of those we're thinking through of how a lot of the anonymous and unknown profiles are engaging with your single mobile app or website. Journey Optimizer extending this into the omni-channel real-time profiles and engageable profiles when you think about loyalty status, knowing a customer, and then engaging with them in some sort of interaction, right, with code-based experiences. So it's a complementary, better together story. The other aspect that we will get into, and I wanted to allude to at the end of this session, um, was this evolution that we're on currently at Adobe as well, for thinking about experimentation and personalization across the AEP app services. So when you think about this code-based experience channel authoring some of these capabilities that Robert went through, you have decisioning as and all the decision capabilities within Journey Optimizer in this channel. You'll see us expand on that, hopefully in an upcoming session with Sandra and team as well. Experience decisioning that we're releasing soon is going to be live within the Codebase Experience channel. So we're moving in a direction of a lot more experimentation and personalization on different objects across some of our products, and that in itself, I think, is a huge momentum and a step forward for thinking about how you are thinking about channels coming together from an omni-channel perspective, and how teams are kind of evolving some of these campaigns in Journey Optimizer with the known and unknown profiles together for a complementary position with target. So, Robert, you can expand on some of the other points that we're seeing and how customers are executing. But those are two main points I wanted to surface, because it's a great question, and we're really kind of at this pivotal point now too for having the opportunities to expand those capabilities across platform.
Okay, we have one more question, but I would first love to see what the experience is like for the customer.
Yeah.
So let's take the next question
So
after.
the campaign is now live. As you saw, there were a couple of seconds until it went live, and once it goes live, the code content that we've edited is now published on Adobe Edges, and is available to be fetched by my Smart TV app when a visitor that belongs to that audience comes in and opens the app. So this is what I will do. I will go to my Binge TV app, and I will log in with one of my test accounts. I will sign in,
Let's see which experience you're going to get, if it's A or B. which which experiment?
and it seems like, let's see, no access token profile.
Oh,
It's a demo. Usually the demos are okay. So let's do a refresh. Probably my my session expired in the meantime.
you know how it is. Demos and Murphy's Law, they just go together hand in hand.
One of
Yeah.
the benefits of fielding some
So
questions too throughout. So
True.
yeah, after I managed to successfully sign in with my test account, you can now see that here on the right side of the app, under the sign in button, I have my greetings, and then I have the image, and thank you for being with us for 1 year, and also like a call to action. So if I click on the call to action, the app will register like an interaction event, which I will be able to see in my reporting. So uh, we personalize this surface, but in the same way, we can personalize other sections of the app, uh, the text or each like video tile and things like that. So uh, depending on what the developer specifies as surfaces inside the implementation, we can change the content and personalize pretty much everything. Um,
Okay,
and
so go
yeah,
ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
the last thing that I wanted to show is like a sample report. So you can see like this is the report of a previous campaign that I've run. So we have some key metrics like unique impressions, and interactions. So depending on like the app implementation needs to record the displays and interactions. We have some sample codes that describe how this can be done for client side versus server side implementations. And then based on that info, we can paint the reporting. And that was it with my demo. We can get back to the questions.
Yes, we have a couple of questions. So one question from Diego was, and this is again target versus code based. Taking the example of the recommendations for the TV application, what would be the differences between Journey Optimizer's recommendation algorithm and Target's recommendation algorithm?
That's a great question, Diego. Currently, we don't have recommendations inside Journey Optimizer. So that's why somehow this ties into what Brent was mentioning earlier. Like for the moment, Target and AGO are complementary. So we there are a lot of core use cases where Target is the main tool and powers recommendations, uh, I don't know, personalized experimentation and other like specific things that AGO is not able to do at this moment. But on the other hand, Adobe Journey Optimizer is continuously evolving, adding new channels, new capabilities, and one of the core capabilities of AGO is the use of native Adobe Experience Platform capabilities like Profile and all the other AP services. Plus, in the near future, we'll have all of these channels on the Journey canvas. So it's expanding the use cases that you can do now only with Target.
Okay, another question from Manuel is, can you be more specific about how, and this is, I think, with regards to the reporting, but how to get back those interactions of the customers into AJO and CJA slash
Yeah,
CJ?
so we have some calls like display propositions or interact calls that can be done from the SDK or from the Edge network APIs. And when such an event happens, a call is made and then it's recorded on AGO side. And the AGO and CJ side should be the AGO CJ integration will be soon pretty seamless. Like I know the team is actively working on that, and it's one of the goals to have like this seamless integration between AGO reporting and CJ.
Fantastic. That was all the questions we had right now. But we're not done yet. We still have one more segment. Unless Brent, I think there was something you still wanted to say to wrap up before we go to our last segment.
You read my mind, Sandra. Yeah, I'm sitting here
I know.
thinking the questions are great. One of the benefits I would say too in seeing some of Robert's comments on how Journey Optimizer will evolve, not just from a reporting aspect, um, but once again thinking about the direction for experimentation and personalization across AEP apps, having these native capabilities built on platform gives us the advantage to roll out new features and capabilities that will extend into uh, again, kind of some of these trends where you want to maybe experiment or make a decision on these objects across audiences, channels, content, and journeys, and that in itself is kind of I would say the driving force for where teams should be having conversations, where they should be thinking about these use cases. I mean, we went through an example here in the demo for a connected TV inbound surface, but thinking about all the other customers from Summit, where you think about travel and hospitality, this now can extend into a desktop agent for some sort of reservation service when you check in, and it powers these real time decisions and it gives you the flexibility and scalability for thinking about experimentation culture across teams. That's a very exciting point that we will continue to yeah, describe through some of these launches, but also it gives a lot of context of where we're going with this, product strategy with Journey Optimizer. So one key aspect I wanted to make clear of the kind of building the foundation, if you will, for what's around the corner. And it's a really exciting time for the product and for Adobe in terms of experience optimization. So that's just a wrap up point I wanted to make before we get into one of the fun aspects of these sessions, which is the uncool related tip.
The unrelated cool tip.
Unrelated cool tip.
Brent, you're up again. You brought us a totally unrelated cool tip, which I personally think is really helpful. So go ahead, DIY tips today.
It is definitely not uncool. I think I misspoke there, but so yeah, this is something that I might even write a blog post in itself on. It's helped tremendously in terms of DIY projects around the house. I mentioned traveling earlier. There's always a lot of photos that we come back home with, and we've been really working at the house on hanging different photos and metal prints and all kinds of frames. So this cool tip is something that anyone can take advantage of when you're working with painter's tape or any kind of tape. When you flip around the frame and you see your mounting holes, you lay the tape on the actual frame or the photo, you make your dots with a pencil and pen, and then you put the tape on the wall, level the tape, and those are your anchor points. So there's less holding of the frames. You're working just with tape that you could peel back off the wall. But when I was introduced to this, I think like maybe a year and a half ago, it just was just so simple, and I'm thinking like, why has no one showed me this? And I've gone through life without knowing. So using the tape on the back of the frame, putting the tape on the wall, leveling that, your holes are there. It's a great tip. So anyone who's listening to this, or maybe thinking about when they hang a frame or a photo, next time they will think back to the Experience League Live and thank us.
Absolutely. If that's the only thing they take away, then that will be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, both of you, for joining me today. I think this new feature is amazing, and it really opens up another dimension for Journey Optimizer. And one thing I would also love to thank our guests, of course. And we had an extremely international audience. Those of you who told us where they're from, I mean, we had people joining from India, Taiwan, Belgium, and Peru. That's amazing, and I'm sure there's more international crowd here today. We do have if you still have questions, or you hang up, you start playing around with it, thinking of it, or have other Journey Optimizer specific questions, we do have a coffee break next week on May 2nd from 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific. And we also have, and it's been posted in the chat, an Experience League forum thread specifically for this Experience League session, where we can continue the conversation. And also, if you're going to join us for the coffee break next week and you have a question, already throw it in and we'll discuss it during the coffee break. The coffee break is forum-based, community-based. It's basically a chat where we'll be online to answer your questions. You can put it in the chat, we'll chat back. And yeah, it's an hour where we're available live for you to continue discussing, to answer AJO questions, etc. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to our producer, Doug Moore, in the background. Doug also manned the chat, and thanks so much for helping us out again today. And yes, hope to see you soon. I hope you like the session and you can view the recording and share the recording.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Sandra. Thanks, everybody. Bye.